I've been working with World of Tanks to recreate a 1950s all-terrain vehicle concept called the Rhino, with its unique features of half-hemispherical wheels, but the deeper they sink into the mud, the more grip they got. So in the previous video, we got a Thwaites 1-ton dumper, moved the seat in position, and tilted all the axles at 15 degrees. All we need to do now is make the wheels and give it a body. Right, so I've got my little Thwaites dumper. It's a massive amount of work. We've stretched the axles out, we've tilted them at 15 degrees, and we've dragged all the hydraulics for the steering right the way through the articulation to put the seat at the front. Now, arguably, it's in a worse position than what it started. We've got this horrible looking vehicle, right, really bad positive camera. It looks a bit weird, but what we need to do now, we need to make these huge hemispherical wheels. This is the part of the Rhino which I'm most interested in. How are we going to do that? We need a plan. And the sponsor, World of Tanks. Let's not forget about them. They're making all this possible. Now then, if you like huge tank arsenals, massive battles, and of course a game which is free to play, World of Tanks is for you. Yes. Now, if you use my code, FURZARMY, a link in the description, I've got a little gift for you. Yeah, you'll get free tanks. You'll get 250,000 credits, 7 days premium access, all for you. It's all worth about $21, £18, and it's free! Yes, free! Right, to the barn. How are we going to make these wheels, Colin? What's the plan then, Furs? This is the plan. So, I'm thinking we'll make some ribs, a bit like a skeleton, and then in between that, have some plates, slightly thinner, a bit like a bicycle, how, like, you know, the individual components won't be very strong, but once it's all welded together, hopefully it'll be okay. Now, we've got some flat bits, top and bottom. That's for when it's on, like, smooth ground like this. It can roll properly, and we need to put some tread into that. There's a lot going on here. And then afterwards, we've got the massive question mark. Is because we've increased the diameter of our wheels considerably, we've kind of sapped a load of torque from the engine by doing that. But 400 kilos lighter than what it was, and it was designed to take an extra 1 ton of rubble around up a 25% hill. So it must have had quite a bit of power in hand. So I'm hoping, because we're not taking a ton of rubble anywhere, we're going to be all right. Right, let's sort of make a skeleton thing. I don't know. I'm just going to try making it, see where it goes. Oh yes, we're off, and look! I love it when the plasma cutter goes in time with the music. Editing, Colin. Oh look, it's in time again! Now, a lovely little tip here, if you want to grind anything or brush anything metal, it slips around, stick it on a bit of carpet, don't go anywhere. It's quite a big one, it's a circle. I was a bit worried it was going to be too small. Now then, I have made a few errors. These ribs we're going to weld on here, weld on there. Those go all the way round, there's going to be 8 of them. But poor Colin has only done 6 spokes on his other wheel. Now, that wouldn't matter too much because, you know, you can weld these on where they need to be, but I was going to put some strengthening bars inside, maybe, down onto these spokes. And of course, if they don't all line up, that's not very good. Here we have Mark II with 8 spokes, the right amount of spokes. And then the centre hub, which has the holes which bolt straight onto the axle, that'll sit there. Now, I've got a little bit trick. I've gone all notchy slotty. Basically, at the end of each spoke, there's a little slit, and then at the end of my ribs, I've got like these little catches. They sit in there very nicely, and then when I come to weld it all together, you know, I get them all in the right place. Also, on the other end is a little slit, because this is going to be slip rolled into my access ring, and then they'll slot together like that, which will go around on there. That'll be a circle, obviously, and I've done the same thing on the middle tube as well. This is going to get slip rolled, and this has got all these little tabs that stick out the top of it, and they'll go in these little notches here. Right. I better do some slip rolling and some welding then, haven't I? Right, we've got our skeleton. I'm quite happy with this. Everything seems to be where it should be, and it seems symmetrical, seems reasonably true. Now, the difficult bit now is filling in these little bits, and I thought my original idea, I will draw it on the computer, I will then kind of section it off, and then I'll put it in this other program which kind of unfolds it and turns it into a flat pattern. But this was what it come up with. something ain't quite right. So I thought, all right, then we'll go semi-old school, semi-manual. So I've got a bit of wood, laid it up against it, drew round the back of it, and then that kind of gave me this, and then I basically measured this and did my best as I could to kind of put this into the CAD software myself. But then I thought, wait a minute, Colin, you've got a lot of these measurements already, you know, because I drew all this, I can find out the length of this bit, you know, how wide that bit is across there. So I kind of put them all into the computer, cut it out, and then we ended up with this. Now this is pretty good. It fits in here reasonably well. Could probably do with a little bit of adjustment. But then I was looking at it thinking, oh, wait a minute, heading down the wrong path here, Colin, because I've kind of cut it across at an angle here, because, you know, to try and bend it in both directions, that's English wheeling, that's going to be a right pain. And I thought, well, this part of the wheel here is like the tread. When it's on concrete ground, this wants to be a perfect circle. It doesn't want to have like a 50p piece, you know, like a hexagon. So I kind of thought, well, that bit needs to be slightly different to that. So we have like a little cone I've slip rolled. That will fit in there like that. I have this little bit here which will sit on top of it and weld in there, and then within that we can have our like tyre tread, which will then hit the floor. Then of course when it goes into mud it will go up this bit. It ain't going to matter. So I'm going to weld all them in there, put that on there, and then I'll adjust this little bit so it sits in here and does the final part of it. Yes, I know what you're thinking. This is getting heavy, Colin. It is. I'm a little bit worried about that. I'm worried about lots of things. The diameter, the weight of it. In fact, just please download the link. Download the game at that link, because if this doesn't work, they ain't going to be very happy with me, are they? Right, it'll be fine, Colin. Come on. It's Jeopardy. We like a bit of Jeopardy. Bad. How can that be? Let's fell off there. Rick, do you want to? Rick? No. No. No, Rick. No, it's just you. It's just you. Okay, is it going to be all warped and wobbly, or is it going to be as straight and as true-ish as it wasn't? Ah, that's all right. I'll take that. Right, that's got that all sorted. Finished welding that up. Seems to have made my hair go a bit shorter. Now it's all done. Got a little cover plate on the front. We just need to put some tread blocks or like some tyre tread on it and seal these holes up at the back. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to make another one, fit it to the back, and just check that when the thing articulates, they don't touch. Because it looks a lot closer than what I was hoping it was going to be. Right, let's make another. Oh, we got another one. Colin, what are you going to put it on the back to see if they touch when they steered? Yes, I was, but I've noticed if I made another two like this for the rear, with how I've mounted them, they'd end up touching the diesel tank and the hydraulic tank, so I've got to kind of step the back ones out slightly. Now, there's a bit of wobble, so I'm going to make the inner spokes on the rear ones a little bit thicker, try and strengthen that up a little bit. I've had a little drive around, all seems okay. Right, 2 for the back, 3, 2, 1, boom! Okay, we've got 4 complete wheels and they do not touch when it steers. That I'm very happy about. Now, I've welded all the holes in, all the back. I've put thinner metal in there. The idea was it would save a bit of weight, but I think basically it just made a lot more work. But hopefully every little helps. Now, before I drive this on the concrete, obviously because it's steel on concrete, it's going to make a horrific noise and possibly damage the floor. I've got some rubber tracks and rubber feet coming for it. But while I'm waiting for them, this thing needs some sort of bodywork. It needs a cover. Can't just use it like this. Doesn't look very good, does it? Now, that's a lot of bending and a lot of metal shaping. I've been lent a new tool. Okay, so we have this Morgan Rushworth hydraulic press brake. Now, this is overkill because originally I was just going to get like a manual bender, a bit like the one I've got at home. But there is advantages to having this. The accuracy, you can decide the radius of what you want and the repeatability of it. You can bend, 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 bend. They will all be dead on exactly the same. I shall demonstrate. These jaws come down with a pressure of up to 40 tons into this V-block. Now the clever thing is this V-block can be tilted and has many different V's on it. Each side has a slightly different depth of V and a different profile. Basically meaning you can do really tight bends like this, or you can do slightly shallower, more curved bends like this. It also allows you to do different thicknesses of material. Like you can bend up to 10mm plate on this thing, but you're not going to shove a bit of 10mm plate into a tiny V, so you just choose a bigger V. Now also, we've got these stops at the back here. You can set the distance to them. There's a little computer screen up here. So say if you want a 90-degree bend, 50mm in for the edge, you set them for 50mm, they'll move back, you push a bit of metal, push your foot on the foot plate, bang, it will come down and apply the correct pressure and the correct depth to bend a 90-degree bend. And you can just keep doing that over and over again. If you want to change the angle, you can do a 45-degree one, you can do a 30-degree bend. Repeatability, awesome, and that is what we need for our tank. Okay, here's my plan, which on the face of it will seem very complicated, but it's just what I want to do. So, I'm going to get loads of panels, plasma cut out, press braked all the sides on, drilled holes like tabs. That will sit in there, and then they'll have individual panels all coming off at funny angles. It'll have like a lot of sharp corners, well not sharp, but a lot of angles and corners to it. So it's going to be where history meets modern. Game makers are going to love this, aren't they? Because you can drive old tanks and new ones. So, mount that there, different panels, all bolted together. Let's have a crack. Okay, this looks blooming awesome, futuristic, but it's got that retro touch with the nuts and bolts. Now then, this was quite simple, all the bottom bits, but when it comes to the middle bits, I kept making mistakes. I was going through bits of metal, bits of cardboard on the laser cutter, and then I made a discovery. Me angle finder, put it up against the bench. The blooming notches are 3 degrees out, aren't they? Everything I've been measuring has been 3 degrees out, hence why a lot of mistakes. Now then, I might put a little extra roll cage across the top, giving me a little bit more protection. I don't know yet, but now we've got to do this to the rear, and because we've got the engine to consider, we need some cooling vents and some louvers. Ooh! Oh yes, it is looking fantastic. But we've got one more job before we can take this thing for a spin. We need some rubber treads. Now, my laser cutter will cut thin rubber, but it's not going to cut through 30mm slabs of rubber. But Swift Cut, who make my plasma cutter, also make huge water jet cutters. So basically, one of their customers is not that far away, and they very kindly cut these out for me. Now, these are fantastic. We're going to bend these round in here, put some studs on with a stud welder and fix them to it. But we don't want all bolt heads sticking out of these holes. So we need to machine back like a washer and bolt recess. We can't do that obviously with lasers and plasmas because they only work in 2 dimensions. But at home, I have the perfect tool for the job. Here we are in the bunker shed with a Onefinity CNC router. Now, I've actually had this a long time, but obviously because I've been tunnelling and doing the barn, I've not had a chance to use it very much. I saw it at Maker Central in 2021. I thought these big fat linear rails, big lead screws, that is a bit of me, that is, nice and solid. Now, it's a fantastic machine, But can it machine rubber? Because rubber, of course, is a flexible material and moves around a bit. The software it uses is by Carveco. Very good software, very easy to use. Now, obviously, programming routers is a lot more complicated than laser cutters because it's not just working in 2 dimensions. You've got the 3 dimensions, you've got different tools, you've got the speeds, you've got the way at which it comes down. There's all sorts of things, but don't worry about it. It's very simple. So what I'm going to do, I've put this little screw thing which sticks out here. I'm going to push it over the top of that. We will tell that is our centre, and then I've programmed it to just come down, down a bit more, down a bit more. So we should have an 8mm recess in our rubber. That has worked a treat. Look, you put the washer straight in it, nut on it, squeeze it down. I'm impressed with that. Thought I was going to make a right mess of it. So, to fix these to the wheel, I'm going to use a stud welder with some internal threaded studs. I've got this nice little template jiggy thing. Bend that over there, hold it on with magnets. Stud, 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 stud. Fix it over, bolt it on, and repeat 32 times. And that's it, fitted. And after 32 of them, it looks like this. Okay, my 1950s concept wheel vehicle is ready for testing. Now I think this thing looks absolutely brilliant, but is it going to do what it's supposed to do? Is it going to laugh at the muddiest of mud? We shall see. I've no idea how this is going to perform. I'll look at it and think, yeah, it's going to be really good. And then I'll look at it from another angle and think, not so sure. Anyway, subscribe. That is the next video. And of course, don't forget the sponsor, World of Tanks. They have made all of this possible. Of course, if you use your link in the description and your code, Furs Army, you get your 250,000 credits, your 7 days premium access, and your free tanks. All about for about $25, and it's all free to you. Go check it out. Right. What's going to happen, Colin? I don't know.